This is the Black experience for all. This is the MentorClass with Adam P. Kennedy. In this episode, we're talking to Betty Hines, strategic business consultant, about her time as an underwriter at Allstate and moving up the business ladder. Betty, thank you for talking to me today.
And first, let me say, Adam, thank you for having me. I'm very honored that you even considered me to be part of this program and even on the board. So thank you so much.
Oh, no, Betty, the honor is absolutely mine. It's an absolute privilege to get a chance to talk to you about your life and experiences. Thank you. So what I'd like to do is talk about your early years working as an underwriter at Allstate, what that was like. You were the only Black woman, correct?
You got that right.
And you were the only Black person as well?
Not until I went in terms of management, because they promote you. Of course, for women back then, they would always ask us during our interview, are you mobile? And I'm assuming they asked the men too, but they really want to ask the woman, are you mobile? So at this point in time, I had two kids. It's like, are you mobile? Are you mobile? I'm like, yes, I'm mobile. I knew the game. And then you get your next promotion. Not that they gave it to you, you earned it. So, but my route to what they call the bonus club when you become a regional manager was they did these temporary duty assignments. And they had very nice accommodations. I'm not complaining. But I would have to go to home office, which is Norfolk, and then like a 6-month. And then to come back. And then when they moved me to then they moved me to Kansas City. That's right. I moved to Kansas City. And they do a full move location. Moved to Kansas City. That was one of the racist experiences I've ever had. The corporate headquarters was down there all the time. I mean, it was just, now that was KKK. They didn't even try to hide their caps. They were all in. Kansas City was horrible. So I remember putting a call into, I had my mentors, and one of them just happened to be the president of Allstate, because I knew him from my days in Ohio. And he says, no, we're going to get you out of there. And so I got advanced and promoted to Denver. And so in Denver, I'm going to tell you the states I had, and you'll know the rest of the story. So I had a multi-complex region. I was responsible for the underwriting, and I had like maybe 30 people, plus a satellite operation in Seattle. Seattle was cool, but the states I had to travel and hold agents accountable were like Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, and what was the other one? There was another one, and I had Colorado, Utah. Okay. So that's a narrative in itself. But I do remember, I mean, there were announcements on me all the time, because one time we had a home office review. And so I was the Black female underwriter, and all the home office underwriting guys were men, white male. There was one Black male. And so we would take them out to dinner. And so we would have dinner. And of course, I'm the ranking home person there. And I remember, they said, well, let's, dance. So, we have to dance. And I'll never forget, I was attacked by these white women. And I tell you, all HE double hockey stick broke out. They called the police. And of course, Allstate was huge in that town. And they cleared everybody out. Well, the word got out. Of course, it went to home office. And then the very next day, some of the other male underwriters, they were coming in from all over. Where was it? Let's go back. Well, what happened? And we didn't do that. But I had that same situation when I was in Idaho, Coeur d'Alene. Now, Coeur d'Alene is like the Aryan Nation. It was back then, and it still is now. So the president was Jewish. And when we went to go check into the hotel, and we had two of the sales guys with us, they wanted to put the president, who was Jewish, on one end of the hallway and then put me on a different floor. We were totally removed from the rest of the team. And he looked at me, and he was the regional president, and he's like, oh no, he says, this is not a good feel. And so we refused until they kept all our rooms together. The next day, he went to go jogging. I was staying in my room. And he said he jogged like about a block or two. And he said there was just this eerie feeling that came around. So essentially, the edict was passed that I did not have to travel those areas because there were certain customs, like in Utah. You have the the Mormons, and I had to read. I couldn't have shoulders out, certain things, and couldn't serve Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Coke products, or coffee. My first time I made a mistake, didn't know, and they slammed everything down, coffee and tea. So they said that no, the people would have to meet me at the hotel. So those are some of the dynamics and then Wyoming. I mean, come on now. That's when I met my first black cowboy. It was just and I used to talk to my husband. We were involved at that time, but he would get these preem assignments. They would send the black women if they were underwriting or in operations like Mississippi. I turned down that. I said, "Oh no. I'm going to Mississippi." At that time, I was a single parent. I was like, "Oh no, I'm not going there." But he would get assignments like Los Angeles, Dallas, and I mean, like, why am I all of 5'2" and wasn't bigger than a minute? Why do I have to get Utah? I mean, I persevered. Trust me, I earned my stripes.
Yes, I understand. I know you're a very determined and persistent person, but were there times when you said maybe you've had enough?
Yeah, that's why I left after 14 years. I was on a trajectory. They have these programs, and I knew it, but that's when I said, there's got to be something. And I don't know what it is, but my time there, I had some very powerful mentors. And my mentors I had one black man who's alive to this day. We still stay in touch. He was like the head, sales guy there. And two of the presidents of Allstate were my mentors. I had worked for them. So my mentors were white males. Sadly enough, the women, they're treacherous. They're treacherous. That's changing because they know that we need to bond together. But coming up then, it was very cutthroat. So I just knew I had to do something different.
So you've got several fascinating things going on here. You've got these white men as mentors. Can you talk about that? And also, did any of these mentors become your champions? Yes.
It was hard. I won't say hard because I was able, and I've been blessed, so I don't want to say it was hard. It was, the champions, I always found a church. It didn't have to be my denomination growing up. I always found a church where I was comfortable. So the champions for me, he was the regional president when I was in Colorado, and I reported into him. And his journey was rough, Chuck Martin. And him and his wife would stay close to me. They were encouraging me. And then there were people that I didn't know who were in my corner. He would tell me, well, so-and-so is a huge supporter of yours. He's a huge advocate. And so I didn't know these things. But it really was the different churches I went to. My mother, at this point in time, this was beyond her comprehension, some of the stories and some of the situations I was in, and it would just have her worried, so I never shared that. So it was really me looking at some of the women out there that were doing and were accomplishing things, and I would watch them, and I would read, just do my history lesson on the Black woman before me. And that was uplifting. And then my faith, that was uplifting. And so everywhere I went, and I believe a lot of it has to do to my military background, we never met a stranger when you're relocating here and there. I met friends. Had business acquaintances, and to this day, some of them are still acquaintances with me. Where we would all get together and not talk about work, bring our kids together and cook and have these potlucks. So I had a lot of supporters who believed in me, and genuinely a nice person. Life's too short to be mean. So, I just believe in getting along and pulling out the best in people and just being grateful. And I am grateful because coming from where I've come, small town, my father wasn't with us because of the trauma that he was going through, not able to label it as PTSD. My mother working hard, I would help her in the kitchen. I would help her folding towels. So I am grateful every experience I've had. I'm just grateful.
You alluded to the whole female dynamic in the workplace. How many other women were moving up the ladder with you? And can you talk about that?
There was 2, 3. One was a regional, but she wasn't homegrown. She came from the outside. Very, very brilliant. I would say in the executive role that I knew that were, in fact, we used to try to meet together, every other week after work, get together and just kind of download. There probably was about a dozen. That you could have a conversation with, not worried that you're going to see it in the press the next day. As you move on, something that I've learned, different words were expressed, but even more so now that I'm here, is that not everybody shares in your joy and your blessing. So, for me, I'm thinking, I did great. Everybody come around like rah, rah, rah. I would do the same for them. So I also saw where they were giving opportunities, white women that I wasn't given. And I'm like, wait a minute, my numbers are better than hers. How this is happening. So, but no, it was the people, the Black men and women that went through a struggle, maybe a different department. We would just sit there and just take a deep breath. And it was nice to be able to have a safe haven to share war stories and get some information out, I've handled this. This is what I did. Because what I've learned, the trials and tribulations that I've gone through in corporate America, aren't unique. Someone else has experienced them. So I tapped into their experiences to help me guide my own.
Thank you very much, Betty. That's very insightful and very powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
There's a lot to tell.
There is. It's, again, a great honor and privilege to get a chance to talk to you. Your stories are remarkable, and it's one of the reasons I love doing this. Thank you very much, Betty.
Yes, sure, because it's our experiences. That's what shapes who we are.
Thank you for watching the Mentor Class. I'm Adam P. Kennedy. We'll see you next time. This is the Black Experience for all.